This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right. Well, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Jay McLovin. How's it going, Jay?
Hey, it's going good, man. It's hot as hell out here, but it's going good, man. I don't know how hot it is where you are, but it's damn hot.
It's hot. It is definitely hot. I think it's around 90. I think we're about 92, 93, somewhere around there.
Yeah, me and you're about in the same. Then we're in the same wheelhouse. That's exactly what it is here. 90, 91 is what it is right now. It feels like 95 with the humidity.
Yep.
Take that for what it's worth. I'll tell you right now, I worked out yesterday for a long period of time, cutting up wood, Gonzo. And by the time I got inside, I damn near had a sunburn. That's how hot it is.
Oh, yeah. It's
that
hot.
explains it.
It is hot. That's for sure. Ooh.
That's what old people look like.
About as the Astros wasn't hot last night, though.
No.
What happened last night, man?
Yeah, what happened last night? Well, I can tell you a couple of things happened. Eric Gaddy, however you want to say that guy's name. I'm just gonna call him Spencer. That's his first name. Spencer didn't look good, and he hasn't looked good. This I think was I want to say the second or third game back from rehab. And so he's obviously been out for a couple of months, and he just has not looked like himself in these 2 or 3 starts that he's made. So it's coming back from injuries. So that's kind of got me a little bit worried. I'm hoping. I mean, we still got another month and a half or so of baseball before we get into playoffs. So I mean, it's not like he doesn't have time to get it worked out, but obviously, he's not himself. So he's got a little bit more work to do. And that plus, honestly, we just didn't generate enough runs. Like you said earlier about the Reds against the Phillies. You're getting men on base, but you're not getting them home. And that was a problem yesterday. We weren't getting base runners home. So that's really kind of what happened. And obviously, clearly, they had no problems on their side of the ball. I mean, Bregman hit a home run. Actually, I think there was like 2 or 3 home runs that Boston put on our team. Pretty much every reliever they brought in got runs put on them. So there's a lot to unpack there in terms of our bullpen. And obviously, quick update on Hader. He has been placed on the 15-day IL with a shoulder sprain. I looked a little bit into that in terms of the heal time for his shoulder sprain, and it really just depends, I guess, on the severity of the sprain. But it can average anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks or as long as 6 months. Now, 4 to 6 or 4 to 8, we could probably get away with and have him back for the playoffs. If it's anything more than 8 weeks, we're screwed. We won't have Josh Hader for the playoffs, period. And then the Astros going to figure out, well, okay, now we don't have Josh Hader. Who's going to take up the closing role? I don't know if it would be Abreu or if it's going to be who they used last night, Sousa. But they're going to have to figure that part out. Obviously, Hector Neris got designated for assignment. So he got put back to the minors, which I kind of figured he would because he really wasn't pitching all that great since he's been back with the Astros. And so they brought up Gordon, who was obviously a starter for a good part of the season. They brought him back up from the minors to take over in the spot for Neris. So maybe Gordon could be our closer, or maybe he'll just be an innings eater for middle relief. I don't know how the Astros are going to work that out just yet, but obviously Javier's back. So, I mean, we are getting some guys back, but we're still kind of in the weeds. I will say this, though. It looks like Jake Myers might be making his return back to the lineup, I think in 2 weeks. And I think also as long as Alvarez doesn't have any setbacks, he's taking live pitching now. So maybe he'll make his return in hopefully 2 to 3 weeks, just in time for September ball. That would be ideal. But ultimately, just to get back to the original question of last night's game, our pitching wasn't good, and we weren't getting runners home. That's just it in a nutshell, honestly, Gonzo.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it. I was watching the Reds, but then after the game, I was looking at some of the scores of the games because I was checking to see if the Mets lost. Because I was hoping the Mets would lose. Because if the Mets would have lost, that'd put us like one game out of the wild card. But I saw that the Astros, the game was still going on, but they were down like 13-1, 13-0 or something. I was like, damn, one of those nights. Hey, those nights happen every now and then. You have those nights, and it sucks to watch. That's for sure.
But it was. I thought it was kind of funny because I was thinking the same thing, and then Bo told me, he's like, Jay, he goes, I'd rather be blown out than having a close game, because the blowout games are easier to let go of and be like, it is what it is, rather than the close games where you felt like you should have won. So it is what it is. Mets blew out the Braves, so Logan got blew out too. So I don't feel too bad, I guess.
Well, I mean, the game Monday night, I went to the Reds. They scored 1 run, and they were winning 1-0. And like I said, they were 1 pitch away from going in the 9th inning, being up 1-0. And then they gave up 4 runs in the 8th. So it was one of them games that looked like we had decent control of it, slipped away. But the biggest problem in that game, what I was talking about, was we had 8 hits in that game, and the Phillies had 8 hits in that game. They scored 4 runs. We only got to 1. Yesterday, we had 10 hits. The Phillies only had 5, and we scored 6 runs off those 10 hits. Where the night before, we had 8 hits and only got 1 run. So that was the big difference for the Reds last night. Was we was able to, and we only scored. And the thing I liked about last night, out of them 6 runs, only one of the runs was off a home run. The other runs was off extra base hits, had a couple doubles in the same inning, and stuff like that. And we jumped on them quick. We was up 3-0 after like the second or third inning, and then like in the fourth or fifth, we added 3 more, and they end up getting 1 in the 9th. It was their only run. But I'm looking forward to today, hearing about hour and 40 minutes. We played the Phillies last game of the series, and the Reds ace Hunter Green is making his first start back from injury. So I'm looking forward to see what Green looks like today, and I'm looking forward to see how many innings they let him go, how many pitches they let him throw, and being his first time back off that growing injury. But if he can come back and be anything like he was before the injury, I mean, that's going to help us a lot, because he had a below 2 ERA before for most of the season before the injury, and you had Abbott the same way. So I mean, with Greenback, we almost have 2 aces on our staff.
And you can't count out Lewandowski when he comes back.
Rolo's been right there too, and he's getting ready to come back from that blister. So I mean, with them three guys, usually can count on them guys giving you 6 or 7 innings almost every time out, and sometimes even maybe into the 8th. But them 3 guys are usually give you a quality start, probably 8 out of 10 starts, and maybe even closer to 9. I mean, them 3 guys have been real good for the Reds this year. But so looking forward to see what Green looks like tonight. But yeah, we got a big win last night. I was hoping the Mets would lose, because, like I said, we could have gained on them and only been 1 game out of the wild card. I think now we're still at 2 games. But the Mets are right there in front of us, and there's another team. I think it's only like 3 games. I mean, we're right there. We did gain a game on the Cardinals, I think, last night, because I think Cardinals lost again last night. So that they're right behind us for that wild card. So I think they did lose last night.
We gain on the Cubs too.
Yep. Yeah, I think the Cubs are like 3 or 4 ahead of us. 4 ahead of us now, something like that.
But Milwaukee, man, is running away.
Yeah, well, we're like 12 and a half, 13 games behind Milwaukee now, and the Cubs are like 6 or 7 behind Milwaukee. Like Milwaukee, they've definitely distanced themselves.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, for you guys, there's no way you're going to get that top spot. Not with the way Milwaukee's playing. So your best bet at this point is just to get that wild card spot, which, 2.5 back, and the way the Mets are playing right now, you had a really good shot at that. I mean, it's not like that's doable for you guys.
I think we're only two. We're only two back, aren't we?
Two.
Is it 2? Okay, I thought it was 2. Okay. And I was looking at your schedule. I guess we can kind of get into that a little bit. Tony, I was telling Gonzo earlier, we were going to kind of look at how the wild card side of life is shaping up, and what based off the top 3 teams that are fighting for that last playoff spot, and who we think could get that last playoff spot. So I guess we could, since we're talking Reds, I guess we could just start off with the NL side of it. So right now, looking at what you guys got left in the season, you got Chicago, or excuse me, I was wrong. You got one more game of Philly. That would be nice if you could take that Phillies series. If you could win that Phillies series, that would put you in really good momentum going into Milwaukee. That's who you got next. Now, given the way Milwaukee's playing, if you just take one out of the 3, I think that would be great.
We'll get one. We'll get at least one out of the 3. The Reds. One thing that we haven't done,
right?
We haven't been swept since like middle of last season. That's one thing we are pretty good about, is not getting swept. We're the only team in baseball this year that hasn't been swept.
And that's good, because right now the Brewers are at the end of that 11-game streak, which is the second one that they've had. And if anybody's going to disrupt it and end the streak, then hopefully Cincinnati would be the team to do it. Because your schedule's not too bad. You got Brewers, or you got one more game of Philly, then you got 3 with the Brewers, 3 with the Angels, which I think you can beat the Angels. Although I will say this, how crazy that the Angels are just ever whooping the dog stomp off out of the Dodgers. It's like, I guess that they're like the Dodgers kryptonite or something right now with the Angels. But then you got Arizona, LA, St. Louis, Toronto, New York, San Diego, St. Louis, and then you got 4 with the Cubs, 3 with the Brewers. So you still got 3 or 4 really tough series in there, but you got a lot of series in there, Gonzo, that I think you could make up that room in.
Well, the good thing about our schedule is what I said yesterday. All the teams that we're battling with the wild card, we play in series. So if you win them series, you gain games on. We still play the Mets. We still play the Cubs one more series, and then we need to win our division series. Like if we don't beat the Brewers, like you said, don't get swept. But when we play the Cardinals again, we need to win those. At the end of the year, we finish out with the Pirates and the Brewers. We need to win that Pirate series. And a team that people need to not sleep on. I know they're not going to make the playoffs this year, but the Pirates, since they fired their manager, and this new guy's taking over, they've been hot. They've been one of the hotter teams since the All-Star break, and they've been continuing it. They're a pesky team. They're not. They're not a team that you want to play right now. They're playing some good ball, so they're not an easy out. And we play them toward the end of the year. But that's one thing about going in after the All-Star break. The Reds had the second toughest schedule left in baseball, so I knew we had a tough schedule. But the good thing about the schedule is we still have a series against the Mets. So if we keep gaining ground on them and then play them in the series and beat them in the series, that right there, that can put us move us a couple games ahead of them. So them series are going to be important against the Mets. I think we might. Did we have one more against the Cardinals? I can't remember if we had the Cardinals.
Yeah, you got another series with the Cardinals.
The series against the Cardinals is them ones right there against and even with the Cubs, them ones right there with the teams that you're battling for the wild card are going to be important. But it's good that you have those series, because at least you can have control of your destiny instead of having to depend on, if you didn't play any of them teams, hoping that other teams beat them, and then you win all your other games. You have a chance to gain some games on them where you have that control because you're playing them.
Yeah, so the Mets have 7 more what I consider to be hard series to play, right? I mean, they got Chicago, they got San Diego, they got Philly with 4 games, they got you guys with 3 games, they got Detroit with 3 games, Philly with 3 games, Seattle with 3 games. I mean, New York has a very, very tough road as well. I mean, both you guys have tough roads. It's just going to be which one of you guys, you and the Mets, can win the big series. In other words, you're going to have to win some a Milwaukee series, or you're definitely, if you can sweep New York, that would be in your best interest. But if you can just win that series, that'd be good. You really need to beat Seattle. I need you to beat Seattle because I need to get Seattle off my ass a little bit. It'd be really nice if you could beat Seattle, New York. I'm talking about New York beat Seattle. So I don't know, man. You're 2 games back. It's very doable. Like I said, the Mets have a very tough road. You got a tough road.
The Reds are in good shape. If the key to the whole thing, like me and Chris always said, just win series. If they just go out and win series, I think they make it. I mean, you got 42 games left, roughly. Some may have 41, some may have 40, depending on what they played. So with that amount of games left, if you just go out and win series, where they're at, they're in a very good position. But they got to win series, and they play a lot of their own division, and that's was the key last year that they struggled. They didn't beat their division. If they want to make the playoffs, they got to beat the division.
Yeah, and it's just because all the wild card teams, San Diego, all you guys play each other, so it's really going to be a dogfight for all of you guys to get that last spot.
And what's crazy is everybody used to talk about how weak the National League Central Division is, and the National League Central Division could very easily end up with 3 teams in the playoffs this year. I mean, because you're going to have the Brewers, and then if the Cubs don't fall apart, you're going to have the Cubs. Then you could either have the Reds or the Cardinals, both right there at the wild card. So our division this year has actually been one of the tougher divisions in baseball. I mean, I think every team but one is over 500 in our division. Like our division's been pretty good this year, and like I said, we could have 3 teams in the playoffs. And I don't know when the last time the NL Centrals would have 3 teams in the playoffs.
And we're talking about San Diego, guys. We may not be talking about San Diego. San Diego may win that division. They're tied right now with the Dodgers. We may be talking about the Dodgers as that other wild card team because I tell you, San Diego plays the Dodgers tough. The Dodgers are still struggling with the bullpen. It happened again last night. I don't know. I definitely think the Dodgers make the playoffs, but I'm not so sure they're going to win the division.
You know, I wonder what I was thinking too earlier was what happens if the Yankees don't make the playoffs? What if they get bounced out of the wild card spot and just lose? What does that mean? And I wish Frankie was here because I'd love to ask him that question. I wonder what does that mean for Boone in terms of his job security? If he doesn't make the playoffs, is he going to be out next year as manager?
I think it's possible. I think they could look at Cashman too.
I don't think Boone would be gone. I think if anybody was to be gone, it would be the GM.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I can't even believe what Tony said. I wouldn't be surprised if they were both gone and they just cleaned out management and started over. You know, who knows? I just got to imagine with this squad, the Yankees just haven't done anything since 2009. I mean, I understand they did make it to the World Series. I don't want to discount that, but if he doesn't even make the playoffs, I mean, the general managers brought in some talent. Boone's they're just not getting out of the talent. I mean,
I look at the other way. The general manager ain't brought in good enough talent.
That's true because if you look at Bird, that the one guy they did bring in, he's already been he's not even on the team. I think he's out of the minors now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it'd be a mistake if they get rid of Boone. What manager's out there that's available that's better than Boone?
Oh, I mean, I agree with you. That's why I mean, I hope they do keep Boone because
if it was like, and I know it's not me, but if it was me, I would. If I'm making a change, it'd be the GM before Boone. Now, but they very easily could do both. They could take both guys. I mean, they could, but I mean, to me, Boone's a good manager. I'd get a new GM, see if we get some different eyes on talent, if that helps, and if that don't help, then maybe move on. But I don't think there's a better manager out there to replace him.
Yeah, I think even Frankie is hoping. I know Frankie said it a couple of times to me, even that he thinks that Cashman is toxic and he needs to be gone. So, and I agree. I mean, if you look at it, McMahon is not bad. He's doing a decent job at third. But when you look at all the pitching they brought in for that rotation, not for the rotation, but for the bullpen, like I said, Bird got put down to free agency, or not free agency, but minor leagues. Bednar started out rough, but he's kind of doing okay now. But they really have not gotten a whole lot out of this free agency that we just went through. Like they definitely did not really improve the team at all, and I think it's showing in the standings now. Although I will say this, the run differential of like 96 or plus 96 or 93, somewhere around there, that's not bad. But I think if they don't make the playoffs, you got to start looking at Cashman. It's for the talent acquisition, like you said, Gonzo.
I'll say that's one thing about the Reds. The guys they picked up at the trade deadline have really helped us so far. Andujar hit another home run yesterday. It was a solo shot, but he hit a solo shot yesterday. Brian Hayes didn't start yesterday. They gave him most of the day off, but they ended up bringing him in toward the end of the game for defense. But he's been great at third base. Like he's made at least in the 2 weeks he's been on our team, he's made at least 4 plays that any of the other guys that have been playing third base for us wouldn't have made. Like Marte wouldn't have made them plays. Espinal's a hell of he's a pretty good defender, but he's not used to playing third as much. I don't think he don't make those plays that Hayes made. So I mean he's helped a lot.
Yeah.
And Littell, the pitcher, pitched good, but Andujar has been pounding the ball, dude. Like that dude really pounds the ball.
Trying to figure out. Somehow I clicked on something I wasn't supposed to click on, so I'm trying to figure out how to get it back to where I got it. I think that's where we were. I don't know.
I was wondering what the hell you were doing.
Jay playing games.
I was giant for a second, and I was rolling over the corner. Then I was over here. Like, what the hell's going on?
No, that's because I'm gonna tell you what I was doing. I thought I was clicking on the mute button, and I guess I lost track of where the cursor was. I guess the cursor was on this one, and I was like, well, if nothing else, Gonzo's just gonna feel like he's center of attention, and we're giving him all the love today. So maybe he'll be happy.
I thought we was going to do like the Brady Bunch.
I thought we were doing like the old game show Hollywood Squares, where all the squares all move.
No, I just hit the wrong button, and I couldn't remember where it was originally. So I was just going through them to figure out which one was. And anyway, I guess I got more familiar with the buttons now. Now I know what I'm doing. So there you go. That's that.
Now you got us all 3 on this in a row. Okay.
I kind of like this. It kind of looks. I wish it was a little bit bigger. Like I wish the afternoon was over there, and our pictures were just a little bit bigger. If I could find that one, that's really what I was trying to get. But Gonzo, if you remember what icon we actually were in, by all means, I don't know what it is, and apparently this is why I don't typically do production.
Hey guys, I found something kind of interesting today. Major League Baseball.com had a list of the top Major League Baseball farm clubs. Who do you guys think number 1 is?
Oh, it ain't the Astros. Let me think about this for a minute.
I was surprised.
Is it San Diego?
No, San Diego was not in the top. No, San Diego was 30.
Oh wow!
Right behind
and I don't think is it. Oh, the Brewers.
The Brewers. Let me see here. Milwaukee is number 4. What do you think, Chris? Who do you think number 1? I think it's going to surprise you guys. It shocked me. Of course, I don't keep track of the minor leagues, but that much. But
I'm gonna say try to think. St. Louis Cardinals.
No, they was not in the top 10, and I didn't. Let me give you some of the worst
Red-
ones.
Are the Reds on there? Reds are pretty. I know that a couple years ago we were like top 5.
Reds are number 8 right now.
I was gonna say, I knew we were up there.
Give me
pretty
one
good.
more guess. Give me one more guess, and then just give the whole list. Hell with it.
Okay,
I'm gonna go.
okay.
Number one, last crack. I got a feeling it's the Dodgers.
You're right. Dodgers are number 1, and that surprised me. That's going to make Frankie completely happy. Now, the Dodgers got all the damn money, and doing everything they can to be underhanded and get anybody they can. Now they're also the top minor league group. So number 2 was Minnesota. Jay, this will make you happy. Number 3, Seattle. Number 4 is Milwaukee.
Yeah.
5 is Cleveland. 6 is Detroit. 7 is the Mets. 8 Cincinnati. 9 Pittsburgh. 10 Tampa Bay. Some of the other teams: Yankees 22, Atlanta 28, Houston 29, and San Diego 30.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew the Reds was up there because I remember like last year we were like 5 or 6. So I knew we'd be up there pretty good.
That's crazy. Yeah, I knew the Astros were going to be pretty low on that list because honestly, we've depleted a lot of our talents, our prospects. I mean, so I knew we weren't going to be too good. It did surprise me though that the Dodgers were number 1.
It surprised me, shocked me.
Yeah, because typically I don't think of teams that are doing as well as what the Dodgers are doing to have that high of draft capital in terms of higher picks. I was thinking more like. In my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe the A's are it. Maybe, one of the lower, maybe the Rockies or somebody. I would think that they're the ones getting all the draft picks, right? But obviously, I'm wrong.
Well, I knew Minnesota was going to be up there, but
Well, what that shows, it shows the Dodgers front office is doing a good. Their GM and their scouts are doing a good job of picking players because, like you just said, they're not picking at the top of the draft all the time. So if you have the highest rated minor league, that means you're doing a hell of a job scouting because they're getting the right guys with their picks. They're hitting on a lot of their picks where some of these other teams that are picking lower like that are picking guys and they're not panning out where that means the Dodgers are hitting on more of their picks than they're missing on.
Let me ask you a quick question since we're talking picks and farm systems and things of that nature. If you go down to, let's say, South America and snag up some players out of South America, can you just put them directly into your farm, or do those players still got to go through the draft?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's an international draft, or at least there used to be. There was a way that works. I'd have to look it up to be 100% sure of how it works.
The only reason I'm asking that is I know there was a time period where Houston was getting a lot of their draft people out of, South America, Dominican, Central America, things like that. Matter of fact, Jose Altuve is one of those examples. Alvarez, I think, is another one. I'm pretty sure Correa, if I'm not mistaken, was one where they weren't going through the draft. They were just getting them and putting them into their system and plugging them into their minor leagues. But I think that you're right. I think they did do an audit or an international draft, I think, is where they were coming up with that.
It's a shame that the World Baseball Classic isn't a thing anymore, It's all I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how international players work. Which this could change with the new CBA, but here's the current model. MLB teams can sign players from outside the U.S., Puerto Rico, and Canada during an international signing period, which runs from January 15th to December 15th. Players must be at least 16 years old to be eligible for signing, with a September 1st cutoff for determining the age of the player. Unlike the annual MLB draft for players from the U.S. and Canada, there isn't a structured draft for international players. So right now you can sign players, but it has to be during a certain time period. But they're trying to change that with the new CBA and be more where they be like either in the draft or have or have an international draft.
Yeah, that totally makes sense because when you look at the Astros team, typically that's where we've gotten our players is during that, like you said, during that signing window. We've gone down there and snagged them up and brought them in. And that's what I'm trying to think. I feel like if you don't have a good farm system or if you don't have a good draft order, or in the Astros case, even where we lost draft picks because of 2017, it doesn't mean you can't still build your team. You just got to go down there during that period and find your players internationally.
What happened in 2017?
We're not talking about that. That is not negotiable.
Not negotiable.
It's non-negotiable. We have had
Hey,
all we want to know about that trash can.
Glenn, do you remember what happened in 2017?
Some waste management cans making some noises and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Glenn?
Let's talk about those Dodgers bringing in.
Hold on. Glenn, hold on. We will. But Glenn, first off, that's strike one.
Hey, Glenn, that's all right. You get 3 strikes, brother.
Yep, I do. I'll run the count full.
It only takes 1 pitch to hit it out of the park.
Yep. Yeah, I'll run that.
Or I guess in the Astros case, just 1 bang on the trash can lid, and it was a home run.
I know if it's 3 hits on the trash can, it's a fastball down the middle.
Oh shit!
That was a pop fly there, Gonzo. Caught. You're out of here. What a time to be alive! I don't think we're ever going to get past that. I think I'm going to go to my deathbed here in this.
Hey, Dad, what do you think about a lot of these Colts fans on the internet that want to trade Anthony Richardson for Shedeur Sanders since the Browns have Shedeur Sanders as number 4 on their depth chart. Since the Browns are so stupid to have Sanders as 4 on their depth chart, the Colts should trade Anthony Richardson for Shedeur Sanders. That's what they're saying on the internet. A lot of these Colts fans.
It's hard to be a fan sometimes. I mean, I know Jay knows because he's got some of those Dallas people, that are just delusional. We got what we got. We got Richardson. That was the deal. Me and Chris was not for it, but we tried to suck it up and say, yay, raw, let's go with Richardson, and we see what we got. Our thoughts have come through what we thought, unfortunately. And all we can do is hope it changes. But more likely, we got Indiana Jones, and we just got to put all our money in Indiana Jones and hope for the best. We screwed up. They should have never took a quarterback that year.
They want to trade. Let's trade Anthony Richardson for Shedeur Sanders, who the Browns don't even think is the starting quarterback yet. But let's. I mean, come on, guys.
That'd be some shit that I could hear some Caitlin Clark fans would say, as far as comparison players on the Fever, and shit. So,
guys,
but go
ahead.
I just want to say, but I think, would it be bad if y'all did get Shedeur? I would rather have Shedeur than Anthony.
You don't trade a guy that you drafted 4 overall for a guy.
I understand that.
5th round draft pick.
True. I mean, if you want to stick to that, look, watch this. Sometimes you screw up in this life. I really believe. And I think Anthony Richardson was picked.
I don't think Sanders is better than Anthony Richardson, though, is what I'm saying. So that's why I wouldn't do it. I don't think Sanders.
No, I would never. I'm not saying that I wouldn't trade.
I don't think Sanders is a starter.
But I would trade.
What's the best? I've always said I thought availability is the best ability. And the fact that Anthony Richardson can't stay on the damn field, what is he really doing for you on the sideline? I mean, I say that out of my mouth because
we can trade Anthony Richardson, but not for Shedeur Sanders, is what I'm saying.
Let's transfer that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna when a guy is in the middle of the I just feel like his stock is falling. And what I mean by that is, if you're in a QB battle with Daniel Jones, it doesn't exactly put Anthony Richardson in the best of life. And then on top of that, he's injury prone.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care if we trade him, but trading him for Shedeur Sanders isn't an upgrade. That wouldn't make no sense if you're going to trade him. What if
Shedeur turned out to be like Tom Brady? Because Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. Hell, Brock Purdy was the last
6th round pick. But I saw stuff on tape from Brock Purdy and them that I haven't seen from Shedeur Sanders yet. I saw Brock Purdy play against top competition in college. Didn't get to see Shedeur Sanders do that. Hey, he might be great, but from what I saw, I wouldn't trade for him. And he,
I
he must
remember
not be,
when
and he must not be too damn great right now in training camp, because the Browns still have a 42-year-old quarterback starting in front of them and two other guys in front of them. So, I mean, there has to be something a little there.
Yeah.
we
as of
also
right
know
now,
that the Browns
yeah.
have had a rough go of it in terms of decision making. So I don't know if I put a whole lot of faith in anything that the Browns organization is
Yeah,
doing.
but there was also 32 other teams in the NFL that passed on him that many
multiple
times.
days. Multiple days.
I just wish that these general managers would come out with the reasoning of passing on him. Was it really his abilities, or was it more just the way he presented himself in interviews and in conversations? And let's be honest, I think everybody knows when he put out Legendary and all this stuff and all the hoopla around. But you got to admit, Shador has calmed way down from all of that. He's been humbled, and a humbled Shador Sanders. I'm not saying he's going to. I mean, maybe he's not. But I think he's got upside, and I think he showed that first preseason game. Even though I know it's preseason, I don't know, man. I think that the jury is still out on Shador about what he is and what he's not. I don't know if we have enough evidence.
Why don't the Cowboys trade Dak Prescott for Shador Sanders?
I would, because I hate Dak, and I already know what the ceiling is for Dak. Fuck Dak. I hate Dak. Everybody knows I hate Dak, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, yeah, we really could. I mean, a guy like Dak who is established. Now, I'm not saying the man is a Super Bowl quarterback, but he is established enough that, yeah, that wouldn't be a fair trade because
he's a good starter.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's not great, but he's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a good starter, but Anthony Richardson, you don't know what he is because he can't stay on the field to figure out what he is.
I'm just saying is if you want to get rid of Richardson, I wouldn't do it for Sanders. Is all I'm saying.
I understand. No, I mean I understand your argument. I'm not refuting your argument.
I'm not saying that Sanders is I'm not saying Richardson is great because he hasn't showed that he's great yet. That dude can't. He ain't been able to stay on the field. That's what I'm saying. So
I feel you.
But I just
remember when Sam Bowie was drafted ahead of Michael Jordan. Remember them days? God, would you love to have him?
It happens.
It does. No, trust me, it definitely happens.
But it also happens that guys are number one picks that should never be number one picks. Like
Jet George.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yep, and that's another one.
Look, he wasn't drafted one, but how about Ryan Leaf? Because we all know how that turned out.
Everybody, there was a lot of people that was shitting on the Colts for not. There was a lot of people shitting on the Colts that year for taking Manning over Leaf.
Yeah. Thank God we didn't.
And then the next year they shit on us for taking Edgerrin James over Ricky Williams.
Yeah,
and we were right on, and the Colts was right on both those.
Hey, listen, you guys definitely got those right after that Ryan Leaf thing. You definitely Well, since the Ryan Leaf, since you went with Peyton Manning, you obviously did the right thing. So you made good choices, right?
And even Edgerrin James was the right pick over Ricky Williams, and Ricky Williams was the guy everybody wanted.
Andrew Luck, but he quit early.
Yeah,
I still think Ricky would have been so much better. I don't know. So many things went wrong for Ricky. Ricky was just a head case, and it's hard to do good when you got all that talent, but yet you're a head case. It's hard. And well, I remember when he was on the corner with Mike Ditka and he was in the wedding dress. Oh my God.
Sports dress trade. I remember that vividly.
You just said head case. That may be the problem with Anthony Richardson.
Could be. Very well be.
Tapping out in Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for Shador, though. I mean, he has a good preseason game one. He's trying to work his way up the depth chart. Then he gets he's got an oblique issue, which, an oblique, it depends on how bad it is. If it's a slight oblique, I guess they said it, they are hoping that he will still be available for Saturday. But I'd like to see him get more and more preseason games so we can really see what he's capable of.
I'll tell you what, if Shador becomes a starter in Cleveland, Jay might become a Browns fan.
No, that won't happen.
He's
Dion on the coaching staff.
To use a wrestling term, he's marking the hell out for Shador Sanders.
Hey, you know what? Hey, listen, I'm all about a guy that comes out one way in terms of arrogance and privilege and things like that because he's Dion's son, this, that, and the other. But then going to a franchise and getting, number one, picked in the fifth was probably humbling. And then number two, really going in there and saying, you know what, I need to get my shit together, go to the meetings, go to the film room, do the workouts, keep my head down. Don't complain that I'm getting second team reps. Don't bitch, just work. Tell my dad, don't come to my games. I need to focus. There's something that needs to be said for that.
Okay, Jay, but let
know
me
what I
ask
mean?
you this. There's 100 other players that got drafted in the NFL that are doing the same thing that Shedeur Sanders is doing.
I understand that.
They're putting
not
their
all-
head down,
they're not all-
doing the work, doing everything they're supposed to do. And some of them were arrogant and things. I mean,
Brian
he's not the only one. Is my only.
No,
point.
I'm not, and don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying it is something though to go from up here down here and work your way back up without keeping that same mentality,
But
right?
the problem was he was never up here. He was up here
No,
because
I'm talking about he was up here in terms of expectations, right? I mean,
from the media, because of the media.
that's my point. The media was building them up.
If you listen to most of the scouts, most of the scouts had him as probably a late first or second round pick. There weren't very many scouts at all that had him as a top 5 pick. But the media is what has built that train up, and the media is what was responsible, in my opinion, for a lot of people thinking that he was arrogant. Because from all the stuff I saw from him when he was in college, yeah, did he do some of the show stuff? Yes, but for the most part, it was always working. He was doing what he was supposed to do. You didn't hear about him getting in a lot of trouble. But the media building them up and just keep building it, and they made that legendary thing a big story. It was
I mean,
the
it's not like
the media helped make the story so big that I think people got tired of hearing about him and thought he was there and assumed that he was arrogant. Where I never like him being arrogant wasn't why I wasn't. It was more about, was he going to be? Can he process it fast enough? He's a decent athlete, but he's not the greatest athlete. He's not a guy that's going to move around a lot in the backfield. And is his arm going to be strong enough? But the biggest question for me was he going to be able to process it? The defense is fast enough against the top level, because we never got to see that. Because at Colorado, at Jackson State and at Colorado, he wasn't playing the SEC or the Big Ten, that kind. And them are most of the players that you see that are starting every week in the NFL.
two things, and then just two things I wanted to say about that. Number one, yes, the media hyped him up, but so did he. You don't go to draft day with an entire room just covered in legendary, and you got a chain that says legendary, and you ain't done shit. Obviously, at college, what you just said, we all know that Colorado, it's not like he was playing the toughest of competitions, but yeah, you're calling this. I'm just saying, he created part of that himself. Yes, the media did a great job of doing it too, but he was also to blame for that, because you got legendary all over it, and you ain't legendary for nothing other than the fact that your last name is Sanders.
I get what you're saying, but every guy that's getting drafted they have a big draft party or wearing chains or doing or a special suit. Like all of them do stuff like that.
Well, I get this
But
too.
his drew more attention because the media wanted it to be more attention, because the media knew it's Deion's son. People are going to tune in.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because like, look at all the draft parties they show when they show these guys get drafted. They have all the people around them. They're in chains. They're you know what I mean? Hell, they have fat heads of themselves, signs. Like everybody, a lot of people do that. And I get what you're saying too. Yeah, he did showboat some when he was at Colorado. He did. But I mean, I was a Baker Mayfield fan. He showboated some in college. Like,
Yeah, he did.
Wait, hold on.
I
Are you
mean,
trying to
that's
tell me
not the
that
subject.
just because he put the flag in the O at Ohio?
like
Oh,
well,
yeah.
that stuff.
Hold on a minute. Let me come back. Let me circle back real quick. I want to talk about what you just said. And I get the chains and the jacket. I mean, I get all that. But when you put a word like legendary on your ass and you ain't done shit in the fucking league, that's a problem for me. That's a big problem. But I'm going to let that go. I want to go on to my second point real quick.
Okay, let me ask you one question. So when Micah Parsons a couple years ago said that his goal was, or when he first got in the league, or a guy gets drafted, and they say their goal is to be the greatest of all time, and they ain't done a damn thing in the league yet. Does that bother you?
If you want to be the greatest, no, that doesn't bother me. If you say you're the greatest, yeah, then that bothers me. Because I think everybody wants to be the greatest. I don't think anybody wants to go in there and just be mediocre. But if you come in there and you say, hey, I'm the best and I'm going to be the best, I don't know. Then it's a little pompous. I think you got to go in there with a little chip on your shoulder to prove that you're the greatest rather than say, but I understand the point you're trying to make as well. I'm not obtuse. I understand what you're trying to say on that. So the second part I wanted to go into it was, when you look, we talked about him being not the greatest athlete, things like that. Tom Brady wasn't exactly the greatest athlete either. Honestly, he really wasn't. And I think his combine and a lot of other things show that. But he had a high IQ. That's what made Tom Brady so good. It was his IQ of football was so good that it could overcome that. And if you watched him, Tom Brady was never a Hail Mary or a long drive. He was a dinking. That was his whole life, was dinking and dunking all the way down the field and then ultimately scoring. And that's where I think Shedeur is that same kind of guy. He's not, you're right. He's not the greatest athlete. He doesn't have the longest of arms. But if his IQ is there, which I got to tell you, his dad ain't no dummy. And I do think that Shedeur's IQ is going to be good. And if he can dink and dunk like Tom, who's to say he can't be that next guy? I don't know if he's going to be. I can't be a fortune teller, but I don't want to rule him out either at that same level. And I don't think you are. And I'm not trying to insinuate, Gonzo, that you are either. I think it's just time is going to tell, right? Time is going to tell eventually what this guy is. And if he's a bust or not a bust. It's going to be interesting to see one way or the other.
And I think it's going to take more than a year. I think it's going to be over time. I think it's going to be a couple years at least before we know what Sanders is. Hell, it could be 4 or 5 years. Sometimes there's been players that struggle with plays. Well, look at Darnold. I mean, now can he do it again? But look what he was for 4 years, and then he goes to Minnesota and look at the year that he has. So you never know. Guys, I got a new segment that I wanted to do real quick if you guys didn't care. It's called Hot Seat. And what we're going to do, I'm going to ask questions, and you guys are going to answer, but you can't go into a real long answer. It's got to be just a few words. And you can answer yes or no, and you can say why, but let's not go 10 minutes. My first question is, we'll let Chris go first, we'll let Jay go second, we'll let Glenn go third. Who wins more games this year, the Jets or the Colts? Chris?
Jets or Colts? I'm going to say Colts.
Why?
Because I think Colts are going to be just as good or better than we were last year. And last year we won 9 games, if I remember right. And the Jets won like 3. Jets won like 4. And to me, the Jets got worse at quarterback. They might have got a little bit better at head coach, so their defense might be better. But bringing in Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers isn't an upgrade at quarterback. And the Colts are either going to have the same quarterback or we're going to have Daniel Jones. So I say the Colts win their games.
Jay?
I'm going to go with Colts as well, only because of the fact that I still feel like the Jets are the Jets until they say otherwise or unless they do otherwise. And so, yes, I definitely think they have a better coach. I think Aaron Glenn is going to be a really good coach for them. But Justin Fields is still a question mark for me. I said it once. I'm going to say it again. I've never been a believer in Ohio State quarterbacks. I think C.J. Stroud was the first Ohio State quarterback that's actually impressed me. So for that reason alone, I don't think they've done anything over the offseason to really make them great or change the narrative there. And like I said, there's still question marks at quarterback. When you get a question mark at your field general spot, that automatically raises questions. Even though I know that Colts, Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson are having a quarterback battle, and I think Danny Dimes is going to get that. I think Danny Dimes is a little bit more proven of a good quarterback than Fields is, and so for that reason, I'm going to Colts.
Big Glenn?
Colts win the AFC South. Daniel Jones is the Week 1 starter.
I'm a bit.
What did he just say? What the hell did he just say?
Okay, guys, next question. Who wins more games, Dallas or New England? Chris?
I'm going to say the Patriots. Because I honestly, I don't know much about Dallas's coach. I think Dallas is going to be your third or fourth in their division. I think the Giants are going to be better this year. I think the Giants could make a push to move ahead of the Cowboys. But I'm gonna go with New England. I like Vrabel, and I think their roster with the changes they've made is a lot better than what they were last year.
Jay.
Yeah, I really feel like this is one of those questions that you really can't answer. I think it's unanswerable. And it's not and the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't per se think that Dallas is better than Philly. I don't think Dallas is better than the Commanders right now. And also our coach has never coached never been a head coach before. So there's too many question marks in Dallas. And especially with the ongoing dispute with Micah Parsons and company, to really say to say that they're going to win that division, I can't get my mind around that. I know Joe will because Joe's new lead and he's probably spoken herb. But that's besides the point. I also think that Joe spoke herb because he said the Colts are going to win the division. I just think that's just asinine. But I love you, Joe. Don't take it the wrong way. Please keep listening. And you're muted, and it's all good. I love that. I said to Chris. Yes, Chris. Yes, we hear you.
Colts have a better chance of winning their division than the Cowboys do. Because Colts can be we can beat Houston out for our division.
What are we talking about? Why am I getting
Houston out? We can beat the Texans out for our division.
Can we get one answerable? This is not answerable. In New England. They're starting completely over. I like Vrabel as a head coach. Don't get me wrong. Drake May's great, but again,
it is answerable. Who you think? It's your opinion. Who you think's going to win more games? The Cowboys or the Patriots?
Okay. Well, then if that's the case, I'm going Dallas because I haven't seen anything. But no, and the only reason I'm saying that, and I'm not being delusional. Okay. I'm gonna end it real quick, Chris. I'm gonna make this quick. The only reason I'm saying I think Dallas wins more games, if we're talking about winning more games, the only reason I think they win more games is because New England is putting that team together, and so there's a lot of question marks over there. Dallas does have some semblance of consistency with their players, so just for that, I'm not a delusional Cowboys fan, believe me, but I do think we win more than New England. That's it.
Before Glenn goes, I want to give my opinion on this. I'm going to go with Dallas too, even though I think it could be close because I think New England's going to have an easier schedule because they got an easier division. I know they got Buffalo, but the other teams, Miami and the other team, Jets, are not as strong. So I think New England could get close, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Glenn.
Dallas, not by much though. They're both in the bottom of the divisions. They're going to be fighting in the basement the whole season.
Okay. The next question, we're going to baseball, guys. Who wins the American League West, Seattle or Houston? Chris.
Man, this is a little bit of a tough one, but I'm gonna go with the Mariners because it's gonna be the injuries that I've been hearing about for the last 3 weeks every day from my man Jay about how many pitchers the Astros have hurt, and the Mariners have made some moves at the trade deadline. And I believe the Mariners did just take the number 1 spot from Houston.
That's tied.
Or tied, yeah. But they got the tiebreaker because Jay told me that earlier.
Okay.
But it's going to be close. I think it'll come down the end. But I'm going to go with Seattle.
Jay.
It's very hard for me right now, so I understand why Chris is going with Seattle because they really are riding that hot wave right now. But I also tell myself this is August, and everybody knows you can hit that peak in August and then fall off towards the end. And I also have known this division for quite some time now, and I know how it tends to operate. And the only reason I'm going to tell you Houston, and I know this is going to sound biased, but the only reason I'm saying Houston is because right now we're getting ready to get We're getting ready to get Jake Myers back in a week or so, and then Alvarez, as long as it doesn't have any setbacks, should be back in 2 weeks. So I think probably 7 days. I'm gonna say by August 23rd, we will have Jake Myers back, and we will have Alvarez back, which will give us 5 weeks to get these guys acclimated before we hit postseason. And I think once we get those guys back, you remember Jake Myers is a 300 hitter. Alvarez, you already know what Alvarez has, and we got other 300 hitters. So I think when we get those additions back, I think Javier, who's already back now, Arrigetti's back. Hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we get them more acclimated back into the rotation in terms of their pitch counts. And I think Houston at full strength, as long as we can stay within 1 to 2 games of Seattle by the last week of August, I think we'll overtake the division. I expect to overtake the division by September 1st. So I'm going to go only because I believe that our additions coming back, along with what we already have, is going to be more than what the Mariners have.
Okay, Glenn?
Well, Jay, I got some bad news for you. It's gonna be Seattle, and that's why I was laughing at Gonzo when he started with it. But it's gonna come down to the last week of the season, but it's gonna be Seattle.
Bad news.
I'm
Bad news, Glenn. Your hairline is bad news.
Oh, we know that though.
I don't get
like,
no hair either.
I like the fact that Houston had all the injuries and still stayed in it. So I'm going to go with Houston, but they're going to win it in the last series of the year. It's going to come down to the very last series for both teams. So I'm going to go with Houston.
Real
Next
quick,
up,
before you go on the one, I just want to point out one thing. Since we're talking about Seattle and Houston, real super quick stat. We actually play Seattle on my birthday in Houston. I will actually be at the game with James, my first sergeant. He's a Mariners fan. And so you're going to have a Mariners fan and an Astros fan sitting next to each other. And I hope to God nobody is.
Okay, guys. Next, now the baseball question. Who wins the National League West, the Dodgers or the Padres? They are tied right now. Chris?
I'm gonna say the Padres because I don't trust the Dodgers bullpen.
I'm going with the Padres also. Jay?
I know, I got you. Yeah, I'm going with the Padres as well. I feel like that bullpen is suspect in LA.
Big Glenn?
I saw the game last night live. It's going to be the Padres, and I'll tell you why, or a reason why, or regarding that. Sports Judge is going to need a lot of beer by the time this is over. I'll leave that one at that.
Okay. Next one, guys. Who wins? This is the NFL. Who wins more games, the Rams or the Chargers?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the Los Angeles Rams because I believe that the Los Angeles Rams are going to be in the Super Bowl this year. So I'm gonna go with the Rams.
I was going to go with the Chargers, but then I remembered the Chargers are in a tougher division. So I'm going to go with the Rams also. Jay?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust the Chargers any more than I trust Donald Trump's social life. So for that reason, I'm definitely going to go Rams on that one. Yeah.
I like the Chargers, though. I think the Chargers
I think Chargers are going to be good.
Win at least 10 games.
But do you really want to put your faith in that?
I like Harbaugh. Yeah, I like Harbaugh.
But I like Harbaugh too. Don't get me wrong.
But they're playing in a tougher division. If they was playing in a different division, I might take the Chargers. But I think they're playing in.
I think Chargers will be in the playoffs.
I think so too. Glenn?
Rams. If the Chargers were in any other division, I would take the Chargers.
Another NFL guys. Who has the better year? Dak or Rodgers? Chris?
Better year?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers
Jay?
because both guys are Dak is coming off injury, correct?
Yeah.
He is, but I wouldn't hold the injury
No,
on
but
him.
but but he didn't play. Didn't he miss some of the season last year?
He missed a good portion of it. Yeah.
So I think it might take him a couple games to get back in the swing of it. Where Rodgers got to play the whole season last year and is now full. I think going to be fully back from his Achilles. So I'm gonna say Rodgers.
Jay?
Yeah. The only reason I'm picking Dak is because I don't think that Rodgers has the weapons. I don't think he has enough weapons. So you look at Dak, you say, shame on you again. Here's the thing. If there have been no injury issues with Dak, there have been no concerns, there's been no mentions. For all intents and purposes, he's having a good camp, no setbacks, no nothing. So Dak don't need no preparation to get back in the game. He's a professional, he's a vet, no more than Aaron Rodgers would coming back from that Achilles. You know what you know because you're an experienced veteran. So for that reason, and because I do believe that Dak has a little bit more weapons offensively than what Aaron Rodgers has, I'm going to go with Dak Prescott on that.
Big Glenn?
If Dak or if Aaron was a little bit younger, I'd probably go with Aaron, but I gotta go with Dak.
On this one, I'm gonna go with Chris. I think Rodgers is gonna have a big year. Next up, guys, another NFL question: who has the better year, Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles?
Damn.
That's a good one.
I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles just for basically simply because I think the AFC is a little tougher than the NFC. So I could see maybe Chiefs having maybe one more loss than the Eagles if that happened. So I'm going to go with the Eagles, but I think both teams are going to have real good years. So I think the AFC is a little tougher, especially that division that the Chiefs is in has gotten pretty tough. Their division is starting to look pretty good with the Chargers, Broncos.
Denver. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Jay?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Rashid Rice? Isn't he going to be doing a couple of days suspended, or isn't he suspended for a couple of games because of that crap he got involved with? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Rashid Rice is going to be having a 3 or 4 game suspension to start the league.
Could be.
Hollywood Bound is questionable. You got Xavier Worthy. I don't really like this receiving core of the Chiefs, and I really don't like I don't like the fact that Kelsey is still dating what's her face. I think it's a distraction to him. I don't think he's the same Kelsey as he used to be before he was dating Taylor Swift. I just don't believe in this Chiefs team as much as I do, and knowing what the Eagles are doing and what their culture is like and how bad they want another win. I mean, this team is super hungry, and I don't know that the Chiefs are as hungry as the Eagles are. I think the Eagles are out to prove something again this year, believe it or not. And the fact that they did lose a couple of older players on defense, but they stacked up. I mean, they stacked up in the draft on defense. They got a lot of good defensive pieces. And so for that, I'm definitely going to go the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to have the better season than overall. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're the Super Bowl champions again, to be honest with you.
Big Glenn.
Eagles, and to add to the Chiefs thing, I think the Broncos going to AFC West.
Yeah, I can see that, especially since Bo Nix actually, since Sean Payton hooked up Bo Nix with Drew Brees and had them do that little mentor sesh for a couple of weeks. I got a feeling Bo Nix is going to ball out this year.
I keep going back and forth on this one, guys. I was going to go Kansas City. I was going to go Philly. The fact that they got Barkley kind of gives Philly the edge. But I just got a feeling Kansas City's going to come back hungry. So I'm going to go Kansas City's going to have the better season. Got 2 more guys. Next one, NBA. Who has the better year? Houston Rockets or the Lakers?
I'm surprised you didn't say Pacers.
I know that one.
I'm gonna. Oh man. I don't know. I'm gonna say Houston.
I agree. I think Houston too. I think
I trust Houston. I trust Houston's team to stay. They have more depth, and I think I trust them to stay healthier than I do the Lakers team. So I'm going Houston.
I like Houston's coach, and I like their depth, so I'm going Houston. Jay?
Before I give my answer, I would just like to ask Gonzo, why was he pausing when he said that? Like you're really contemplating. Like, I was
thinking about their rosters. I was just going through the rosters in my head.
Okay. Because you took a hard pause. Like, it's almost like you were trying to convince yourself of the answer you were given. I just wanted to check. Okay.
No, I was just going through the rosters because Houston's roster has changed some because they got KD now and
right.
So I was thinking about who each team had picked up.
I got you. Yeah, no, I'm going with the Rockets. And it's not because I'm from Houston. It's not because they're my team. I think for me, it's just I feel like we're the deeper team. I feel like our bench is deeper. The addition of KD. What was our weakness against Golden State? If you really remember, it was Jalen Green inability to hit the 3 ball. I mean, the guy was a literal brick. He had one good game, And that's when Butler went down with injury. But when Butler came back, he was non-existent. Well, we got rid of the non-existent factor when we brought KD in. Now, KD has his deficiencies too. But the one thing KD can do is he can hit a three ball. If nothing else, he can hit a three ball. And he don't got to be the leader. We got what's his face over there, Fred Van Fleet for that. And Amen Thompson is taking on more of a leadership role. Houston has a ton of leadership. What we didn't have was 3-point shooters. And I think that's where KD is going to come into that and give us that 3-point ability. And for that reason, that's why I feel like we're the better team and we're going to have more wins than LA.
Not only that, Jay, he can hit the three, but he when you need a bucket, he can get a bucket. He's a go-to guy. When you need something, he can get it. Big Glenn.
It's gonna be Houston.
Okay. Got one last one, guys. NBA. Who has the better year? Cleveland Cavaliers or the New York Knicks?
True shit.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland Cavaliers. I know New York made it farther than Cleveland did last year, but New York, I still think they're kind of a clusterfuck. You make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you fire your coach who had brought you to 2 50-plus game winning seasons for the first time in 25 years. Now you brought in a new coach, changing things up a little bit. Cleveland were a young team. I think last year they were still one of them teams that was like a year away. I think they got exposed a little bit against the Pacers in that playoff series on their toughness. They wouldn't have. I know they did have Garland hurt, but he played I think all but like one game. But I think that coach and their team learned a lot last year in that playoff run where they have that experience. And with the Knicks, it's just the Knicks find a way to nick. It seems like. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland. And I mean, if you look last year, Cleveland was one of the best teams in the NBA up until they ran into the Pacers in the playoffs.
Jay?
Yeah, I'm on the fence on this one. I'm on the fence for a couple of reasons. I know they got rid of their coach. Who do they pick? Who they wind up bringing in? Because I'm drawing a blank on that. Who their new head coach is?
Mike
Brown.
Yeah, Mike Brown, and I'm not a big Mike Brown fan. I definitely think Tibbs was better than Mike Brown. So I don't know. I'm on the fence here, man. I'm on the fence for a couple of reasons. Number one, Cleveland last year, and I don't ever want to give a team excuses. But I do know that there were a balance of injuries. If they're healthy this year, that should at least cure up that problem. That leaves the second problem, which is, in my mind, a more important problem. And Gonzo kind of already touched on it. It's their toughness. I feel like Cleveland is kind of soft. And that's what kind of has me on the fence with those guys. The only thing that worries me about New York is the depth of their bench or the lack of being used. And maybe that was Tibbs' doing because he didn't really go that far into the bench. I don't think he really ever has. I think Mike Hughes even said that when he was in Chicago, he didn't really ever go that deep into his bench. So I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough one, man. I do think toughness is all about what I think that is. So I'm going with the Knicks, and I'm going with the Knicks because I truly like what Jalen Brunson, who he is, and I like Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns and company. So for that reason, I just think they're going to be a little bit too tough for Cleveland because I haven't seen enough of Cleveland to say other than that they're soft. And I think for that reason, I'm going to go with Knicks on this.
Big Glenn.
Cleveland. Expect a lot of roster turnover in the next few years from New York because the way that they run their ship.
I'm gonna go with, man, it's tough because about the toughness thing. That's the thing I called out Cleveland about not being tough enough. But I'm going to go with Chris, thinking that maybe they learned something, and I'm gonna. It's tough. It's a toss up. I'm gonna go with Cleveland because of the clusterfuck with the coach, the head coach. Well, guys, that's all I've got.
I just had one last thing.
Today.
Hey, I just got one question for you guys. James Cook just signed that $48 million 4-year deal with the Bills. That puts him at $12 million a year, which I think puts him in the same kind of level of pay as Jonathan Taylor and Saquon and even Zeke's contract way back when. But we have not seen a whole lot of contracts go a bit above that $10 million evaluation. Do you think now? I guess it's a twofold question. Number one, do you think they overpaid for James Cook? And number two, do you think that this is going to be the new trend amongst running backs that we haven't seen before, where they're going to finally get back to making more than $10 million a year?
They're going to try to get that money back up there, obviously. Because 10 mil seems kind of low, but considering the fact of running backs' lifespans in NFL, as far as years played, I understand.
Really, the trend of running backs making more money started a couple years ago. You had like 3-4 years ago, you had that season where they were talking about running backs as being undervalued. But if you look about the season right after that, we started seeing some of these running backs start to get paid more. I mean, you got Saquon Barkley is at $20 million a year. You have Christian McCaffrey is $16 million a year. Taylor's $14 million a year. Alvin Kamara is $12 million a year. Josh Jacobs got $12 million a year just like a year or two ago. Aaron Jones is at 10. But if you look, the guys that have signed the last 2-3 years have all been above that 9-10 million range. So I would say that the trend of them going up actually started about 2 years ago. And then Saquon kind of capped it off with his deal right after the Super Bowl or whatever. But it's a copycat league. They see these teams like the Eagles and 49ers that have two of the best running backs in the league and what their offenses are able to do with them guys. And so once you see teams starting to focus on that again, that price is going to go back up. You think about it, a few years ago, it almost turned into the NFL was all about passing the ball, where over the last couple seasons, it's you see a lot more teams focusing on trying to run the ball, and running backs became more important again.
I don't think they overpaid. I think
I don't think they overpaid either.
I think they got a good deal, as long as he stays healthy. But that's with anything,
Let me ask one more question. I'm not going to answer this. I just want you three guys to tell me what you think. There's a hard cap. I mean, you can't go above that hard cap. Quarterbacks take up a third, if not even a little bit more than a third of that hard cap. Some position, I would think, has to take a hit in terms of their value, because you can't. I mean, you only got so much money to go around. Or do you guys think that there's any position out there that's going to start seeing a reduction in how much they get paid because of the hard cap? Or do you think that they're going to raise the hard cap and then that will all factor out? What do you guys think?
My first thing would be probably wide out.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a big reduction, because every year the salary cap keeps going up. They keep raising the salary cap every season. It goes up another 20 million or so many more million almost about every year, it seems like. So with that, and it'll just be the same as it has been. The players that get left out making the big money are going to be your special teams guys that are your special teamers, or like your punter, kickers, guys like that, or the guys that are just special teamers that don't play defense or offense, just on special teams. That's where teams save their money on their salary cap, but that's always been like that. So I really don't see it change, like any new position kind of losing value.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing is, it does depend on the team. Look at the Bengals; they spend all their money on offense. They don't spend it on defense. So I mean, that can change a little bit. But I agree. I think it'll.
Yeah, the Cowboys wait till the day before opening night to sign their players, so we know how it is.
Man, I'm telling you.
You guys are going to sign Parsons 10 minutes before game time, week 1.
Yep.
That's probably when Micah Parsons will actually get his contract signed, if he does. That's all I really got. The only thing I do want to add, Chris, before you get us out of here is number one, make sure you give Gonzo Sports Room a subscribe on their YouTube, and make sure you give ESPN a like on their YouTube pages, a like. And if you think Gonzo's crazy for not wanting to trade for Shedeur Sanders, please throw it in the next comment section.
Hey, we're going back to 2:10 tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, good call.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
tomorrow. Yes, Tony,
Back to
make an
2.
announcement.
Yeah, we're going back to 2:00. We had changed things because some situations I had. Well, that changed again. So we're going back to 2:00. Will be our normal time again starting tomorrow, and hopefully it will stay that way. So tomorrow, 2:00, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.